Hello YouTube, thank you so much for joining me for Real Newsblast episode 8. It is titled Cases and Propaganda. Our first story. After the June 2016 attack on Pulse nightclub, people clamored for action, but I don't think the action people wanted was to go after Omar Mateen's wife, Noor Salman. Now to the case, Judge Byron, who presided over this, asked a few questions of FBI Special Agent Richard Fenner. And it revealed exactly what most marginalized people have faced, that the FBI knew that Salman was innocent of the charges but decided to bring them against her anyway. Judge Byron ended up lashing out at the FBI, committing fraud in order to advance this case. Let it be known that it's also rare for a spouse to be prosecuted for a terrorist act carried out, even when suspected. It goes on to say that Mateen regularly abused her. Salman has a low IQ, registered in special education classes, and is high on the suggestibility index, which makes her vulnerable to manipulation. There was no real proof of being sympathetic to the Islamic State, nor any locational proof of the two going down to Pulse before that night. Evidence does suggest, however, that Mateen wasn't even looking for gay clubs. He just searched for nightclubs, and Pulse showed up as the first result. Also, Salman had every opportunity to flee the country, but never attempted to do so. She told the Times later on that she wanted to get away from the media scrutiny and her family, and she had family in California. Ms. Salman also was acquitted of all charges by a federal jury, which rarely happens when the defendant is Muslim. Our next story. Emma Gonzalez is one of the Parkland survivors who's been a public figure in the aftermath of the shooting. They've gotten a lot of flack from the pro-gun radicals who believe it's egregious to demand that children have a safe school and, not get shot. So this picture of Gonzales ripping up the Constitution went viral and stoked a lot of hatred because we know that the Second Amendment is the only one that matters. However, take a look at what the real photo was. You see, these people think that the Second Amendment is the only one that matters, but what about due process, which they didn't exercise with her, or the 10th Amendment that talks about states' rights? Unless you'll find a lot of Confederate sympathizers talking about the 10th Amendment because, well, it was about the states' rights to own slaves. What about the 25th Amendment, which talks about the process of filing a presidential vacancy, or the 22nd that calls for presidential term limits? According to them, only the Second Amendment matters to these people because, well, it's in service to every other amendment that this is subject, the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This is crazy. I've run across so many people saying that any gun regulation is an attempt to snatch away guns. Well, okay, then we want to snatch away cars because we regulate them, roller coasters, medicine, water, and even food. If your whole thought process when a mass shooting happens is, what about Chicago? Gun laws don't work there. Or maybe if they had a better gun laws, then this wouldn't have happened. You are a shite. You are just a piece of shite. And trash is way too polite of a compliment for you. On March 26th, a judge dismissed a lawsuit brought by conservative Pundit Dennis Prager that alleged YouTube was silencing conservative viewpoints. The judge said that the plaintiff did not really support his case. Dennis Prager blipped on my radar when I used to listen to a lot of Christian radio, and later I saw a Prager University video come up. Now, I found out that it's just a digital media operation that advances conservative thought. It's not an actual university. The lawsuit said that YouTube and Google had unfairly demonetized and flagged their videos, even placing some of them in restrictive mode. Now, something is fishy to me because I've seen a lot of PragerU episodes, or a few, not exactly a lot, and I've never really seen anything objectionable other than just disagreeing with some of the views of the speaker. What I think is going on is twofold, using Russia as an excuse to silence independent media and advertisers not wanting to put their products on anything controversial. I think that with these two taken together, you will explain a lot of what's going on, as well as changing the algorithms to put, quote, trusted, aka corporate, news media results first. So with this, I will suggest some news tubers who I enjoy and are covering wonderful news that I'm interested in. And if you want, you can support them on Patreon. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. YouTube is also has a bell where you can click on different people so that you're subscribed to, so that you get alerted every time they upload a video. Thank you for joining me for Real Newsblast. I will see you for episode 9, which is called The Scott Blues. Thanks for watching. See you soon.